Welcome to the Back to Life podcast, where we explore living well, loving well, and being well. I'm your host, Nicole, and I invite you to tune in for inspirational conversations to get you back to life. Let's get started. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Back to Life podcast, the podcast where we have conversations about living well, loving well, and being well. I'm your host, Nicole, and today we are kicking off the last podcast series for season 3, and it's been on my heart for a while. It's called, Has Anybody Seen Love? Now, this isn't your typical feel-good love fest. We're getting real about love, the kind that shows up in everyday life, the kind that stretches us, humbles us, and grows with us. And guess who's joining me this time for this ride? It is my absolute favorite human, my husband, Preston. Haha. Mr. Green, do you want to say hey?
Hello, everybody. And I'm just for clinical reference, I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Oh my gosh. See, already starting with some nonsense. But for real, thank you so much for doing this with me. I know we've had some conversations about love over the years, and I wanted to invite listeners into what it looks like when love is more than just a word or a vibe.
Yeah, it's glad to be here, and it sounds like a simple topic, but it's not really. It's especially when you're in the midst of being in love.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the big question. Where is the love? Okay, not the song, although now it's stuck in my head. But seriously, people talk about falling in love, feeling love, chasing love. But what about being in love? What about doing love? Love is an action.
Yeah, because, feelings come and go. I mean, you can be in heartfelt love and then I'm just in love now. Stuff like that. But, some days you feel like you're in a rom-com. Other days you feel like you're in a Freddy Krueger movie. So,
why I gotta be like that?
It can be a nightmare sometimes. No, just kidding.
Sometimes it can be a sitcom.
Right.
No, but you know what? Okay. In that vein, some days you're Denzel or Idris.
All right.
And then there's some days it's like, leave me alone and don't breathe too loud. Get over in your corner.
Right. Yeah, I think sometimes we're motivated for love, but we have to be dedicated for love too as well. I mean, we're motivated for the short term, but dedication goes beyond the love. Even when you're not feeling it, you're still dedicated to the relationship.
Yeah. And I think that we've learned that love matures when it's tested. It matures when it's uncomfortable, and sometimes love matures when we disagree, but we still choose each other anyway. And I think we've learned that after being married for almost 27 years.
I hope so.
So I created something that's been helping me reflect on this, and it's called the Love Audit. And it's based on 1 Corinthians 13, that familiar passage in the Bible where we love to quote it, but often struggle to live it out.
Yeah, you get spiritual, girl. And practical, too.
Well, I love to keep it holy and spicy.
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Now, but seriously, let me walk us through a few of these love audit questions. And we can talk about how these have shown up for us in real life. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. First one, love is patient. So, Mr. Green, am I patient?
Yeah.
Oh. So
yes,
what you saying?
Yes, you are. I mean, yes, you are.
No, okay. Be kind. Go ahead. No, just be honest. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'd say you're patient. Yeah, I mean, within the realms of your patientness.
Okay. Fair. But patience for us has looked like learning how to give each other room to grow, not rushing each other, letting the other process things. Letting the other process things differently, because I take in things differently than you do.
Yeah, and we're not always on the same page, but we're at least in the same chapter sometimes. So we just have to kind of make sure we kind of wait on on somebody else's patience, and sometimes we're the one that needs to kind of move forward a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The next one is love is kind. This one hits me because I think it's easy to be kind to strangers, but can we be kind to each other, like in the kitchen, in traffic, when we're tired?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like when I'm being at home with an attitude,
Mm-hmm.
or when I correct you harshly or something instead of being gentle. But I'm always gentle.
I've had to ask myself, did my tone match my intention many times? Because love without kindness doesn't feel like love.
Yeah.
So let's do one more.
Okay.
Love keeps no record of wrongs.
Okay, so this one right here.
Yeah. Oh, you got something to say?
Be writing my book right now.
Oh, okay.
No, just saying. There's forgiveness. When forgiveness really shows up, it's not that you forget what happened, but you don't hold it against them. You don't use it as ammunition for later. I mean, you have to. I don't want to say. You almost have to just let it go to a certain extent, and really have to realize that winning that particular battle doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna come together as husband and wife.
Okay. All right. Say your thing.
Yeah.
Say your thing, sir.
Yeah.
Especially when you feel justified in holding a grudge.
Yeah.
But real love says that I care more about healing and our relationship than being right. And that doesn't mean like letting, just anything fly, but
Yeah.
it does take into account what matters most. So we've talked about what love is. Let's talk about what love does.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think it shows up regardless of how you feel. I love this. There was a picture on the internet recently. It was just a cartoon picture, and it showed like this couple sitting on a park bench, and the rain is pouring down, and you can tell they're kind of facing away from each other, and they're mad. But the husband has his arm sticking out, and he has an umbrella helping to cover up his wife's head so she doesn't get wet.
Aww.
And I think that's what it is. Regardless of how you feel or what you're going through, you're still showing that love in some way, shape, or form.
Yep. Love makes the bed when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Love says, I'm sorry. Love leaves the last cookie.
Yeah, love does the dishes and takes out the trash and kills the bug in the corner.
Oh my God. And here's where the love languages come in. Not as the only way to love, but as one way to understand how someone feels cared for. Like for me, receiving gifts and words matter. It's not about the, it's not about the material possession, but rather the feeling of being known and understood by someone. The thoughtfulness, the intentionality behind the gift can make me feel loved and appreciated, like you see me. But also, when you take something off my plate without being asked, man, that's top tier love right there.
Yeah, and I'm a physical touch kind of guy. So if I'm next to you on the couch or something, and we're not even talking, that's fine as long as we're kind of like in the proximity.
Yeah.
And when you're there.
Yeah. Learning to speak each other's love language has been an act of intentional love. But even more than that, it's asking daily, what does love look like right now? Am I willing to give it? All right, y'all. That's just a taste of this conversation on love. I hope you're walking away with something to reflect on and maybe a little more grace for yourself and your people.
Yeah. And if you're asking, where is the love? It might be in the room with you. You just got to choose it again.
Yeah, okay, sir. Okay. But before we go, don't forget to check the show notes for the Love Audit you can download. I think it would be a really good thing to just take 10 minutes this week to reflect on. Okay, 10 minutes, whatever your time frame. Better yet, do it with someone that you do love. And the Love Audit can, we're talking about, I guess couple love, but you can also do this with, for your children, for anybody that you love. Next week we're going to be diving into Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? And we're going to be talking about emotional safety in relationships. And you don't want to miss that.
Can I come back tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Only if you bring snacks.
All right.
So, thanks for listening to the Back to Life podcast. Be good to yourselves and each other. And we will see you next time. Be well.